This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
You know what they say about one bad apple? Well, we've got two. Gather round, boys and girls, and get ready for a different kind of story time. It's American Animals. All your favorite athletes, entertainers, and weirdos are coming to you like you've never heard them before. It's uncensored. It's not safe for work. It's a goddamn zoo. From the OC to oh shit. Join Erik, Bad Apple, and Ian, Uncle Creepy McCall. Every Wednesday on Hot Button from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. American Animals on Hot Button. Get some.
Well, better late than never are the American Animals.
Hey guys.
We only started 20 minutes late here today. We have a 2-hour time slot to do about 90 minutes of talking with Erik Apple and Ian McCall, and we're going to have to really squeeze it in there tight today.
Can't take any breaks, I guess. That's all right.
I know. I hope you don't have diarrhea because you're going to be staying right in that seat.
That's disgusting, but no, I don't. So I'll be right here. I just went pee-pee.
So normally we record from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Yes.
And now we're recording from 5 to 7, which I thought would kind of be cooler because then we can leave at 7. I actually could probably make it to training by 8 or 8:15 to spar on Wednesday nights.
True. But, it's LA traffic. People don't understand how hectic it is and how insane and just over the top. We
just have to be here we have to aim to be here like a 4:15 and just sit here. And that way we can get the show together and be ready. We can actually be more prepared maybe.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So, hi, Ian.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
I feel like I haven't seen you in a couple days. It's been since last week.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's, we see each other too much, but it's just at the gym usually.
There's no seeing each other too much. That's like seeing Erik Apple too much is like having too much money. It just can't happen. Or too big, or too many titties. Shit don't happen, sir.
It doesn't work that way.
So, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Been working on all kinds of stuff for us and myself. And I know you're training hard. I haven't gotten to train with you the last couple of days.
I have been training really fucking hard. Man, this is we revamped camp like completely, and all my workouts are 90 minutes at most. Like that's even a stretch. My workouts are all about an hour. I work out twice a day, and obviously warming up is that takes me half an hour for each workout. But it's super easy. I my body feels way better at this point. Like nice. As to when you usually this far into camp, you're broken down, you're tired. I feel great. My weight's a little heavy. I want to be a little lower, but that's always the case.
Well, how far off are you? Do you want to say?
I'm waking up like low 40s, 42, I think. So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
No, I've still got a month, and
I've lost 7 pounds in the last week and a half.
And you've been using M120, right?
Dude, 7 pounds.
So if people don't know,
and I'm not training that crazy. Yes. I'm training, but I'm not going crazy. I'm not doing strength and conditioning workouts. I'm not doing hard cardio in the mornings. I'm just training.
Yeah, and that just shows you the quality of food that we get is from a company called M120 Meals. And Gene, what is Gene's last name? I can't think of.
Not sure.
Fucking know that. But he's a 5-star chef. He used to be Sir Elton John's chef, the Fertitta's chef, and Dana White. The guy's a big deal when it comes to cooking, and he now owns and runs a meal prep company. So we've got a 5-star chef making us all of our food and delivering it to our houses twice a week, and it's the food is incredible. Everything's grass-fed, organic, it's very healthy. Portions are perfect size. And it is really good. You have someone who's that good at cooking food, they'll make, even on that scale, even making however many, 1,000, they make 8,000 meals a week.
Between 8,000 and 9,000 meals a week now.
Yeah, so they're a big company. They're growing. They're delivering all over Southern California. So
and Vegas now.
And Las Vegas.
So I'm going to get a whole crew of people on for Vegas, some influencers out there, some people who will help build them out there.
That's huge.
I just had lunch with Chuck and Heidi Liddell. They both want to get on it.
Perfect.
Babalu's getting on it, and he'll sign up all the people at a school, and all these people will be under us.
Awesome. So yes, people, if you go on to go look at our social media at 2 American Animals on everything, and you can see the promo codes and the advertisements we put up for M120 Meals as a New Year's deal. So you go on, and what are the prices? I should probably.
It's $139.
Okay.
You're going to save $75 If you put in the promo code American Animals, just American Animals,
$75 a week.
Yeah.
So we're saving you
$300 a month.
$300 a month.
And for that $139, you get 5 meals a day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 3 meals a day plus dessert and snack, 5 days a week.
So it'd be five meals. Because I mean, even the snacks they have, have good portions of protein in them, or they have. I think it's what company is it that it provides the protein for them? I can't remember who it is, but the food is incredible, guys. Just if you want to try it out for a week.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
People, and I have other people I already signed up who were on other meal plans, and they said this is way better.
It is. I mean, Gene is able to pull off. I mean, making these meals delicious, and they put in poke, salmon. You've got all kinds of good stuff right now. My girlfriend's eating a shrimp and brown rice.
Oh, I have that in the car. I'm gonna have that afterwards.
It's so good.
Is the shrimp thing good?
Yeah, it's good. I've had it. It's delicious.
All right, so there you go.
I haven't had a bad meal with them, and usually with meal prep companies, there's always one meal you're like, I haven't had anything bad.
So everybody remember M120.
Yes. Go
to their Instagram or our Instagram. I put a link in on our Instagram. You should do that too, Ian. Put the link.
Yes, I have to. Yeah.
And go to the link there and just put in American Animals. You save a huge amount of money. So make sure you check them out. And the money supports our show because we're getting 5% goes to sponsor American Animals.
Exactly. So then we'll have more shit to talk about. More times you'll listen to us, and
pretty soon we can do more shows.
Exactly.
So
I'd like to start doing 2 a week. I'd like to bump it up to 2 a week. It'd be nice.
Maybe like Mondays and Thursdays?
Something like that, yeah. We'd have to set it up. We could figure it out.
We can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, all night.
So am I going to see you at...
I will be at Ruka tomorrow. Oh, and Ruka sent me a bunch of clothes. So a big shout out to Pat Tenori and all the boys at Ruka. Brophy and Austin and Zach and all the people that we see on a pretty much daily basis. Thank you for sending me all the gear. And of course, it's weird. Their sizes changed because I'm a 28, and I haven't gotten bigger. If anything, I'm in training camp, so I'm smaller.
Stuff is tighter?
It's the 28s just don't even fit my waist. Where where I have a pair of chinos from a couple of years ago they gave me, and those fit perfectly. So they're I'm like, oh yeah, send me this. Like, just keep them, give them to somebody, and then we'll send you a bunch more shit. So that's always nice.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm wearing a different shirt today that you've never seen.
You are. It's Sean's thing, right?
Lights Out? So yeah. I'm working with Sean now.
Good.
I'm a part of Lights Out.
Sean Merriman, our friend and person that's been on the show before. He has a mixed martial arts company.
It's everything. It's for all kinds of athletes. He calls it athleisure because it's casual wear, but also sports wear and stuff.
It's comfortable. He sent me some stuff a while back. I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it out there. So I'm officially working for him on February 1st.
Okay. To tell them they need to get some sponsor in the show.
Well, he is. He's paying me.
Yeah, there we go. That's true.
So there you go. So we got all kinds of good stuff going on, even though it took us forever to get here today.
Yeah, that there's been a lot going on. I mean, the fights were depressing last weekend.
We'll talk about that in the next segment.
And we've got a lot of good stuff going on.
Well,
in our lives.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll edit the show tonight and have it out tomorrow.
Yes.
But the day after the show comes out, we have a new president.
Yeah, wow.
It's kind of a big deal.
I mean, it's crazy. What were we saying? That now you have rappers that think they're boxers. Our president, I think, he's a clown. And then we have, you have fucking pro wrestlers that think they're fighters. This world's just crazy right now. It's just totally silly.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, to be honest, I don't have real high expectations, but I'm excited for President Trump.
It's going to be fucking
I think it's going to be interesting. And to be honest, I mean, considering how high taxes are, how bad our economy is, and how bad Obamacare is, it's not going to get much worse.
Yeah, exactly. He could. You never know. He could pull off something amazing here. I highly doubt it, but he could.
I was going to tell you, I saw a friend of ours, this guy Shane Mahalo, who grew up in the Dana Point, and with Obamacare, once it came into effect, he has 2 daughters and a wife. He pays over $2,000 a month in insurance for a wife and 2 daughters.
Jesus Christ, that is fucking crazy,
right? Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, some shit going on in this world. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be like that. It wasn't supposed to be the plan. So
that's nuts, man. That is wow, that sucks.
The other thing I'm super entertained with Donald Trump is the way he treats the media. He's over them. He doesn't care.
Telling CNN they're fake news and
he's
talking to you.
And he's threatened to boot everyone out of the White House. Like, because most people don't know, but there's a good amount of press that live at the White House and stay at the White House at all times.
Really?
Yeah, they have a place where the press corps stay.
Wow.
And they work and operate there. Well, they don't really live there, but they work there. They're all day. They have like their own areas and stuff. And he might just be like, I'm kind of over you guys. Yeah. Fuck it, over it. I got Twitter.
You're all fired.
They say, and he has something like, I don't know, 12 or 20 million followers now on Twitter. Yeah. And they say that once he's president, that'll triple, and that he'll be the biggest person on Twitter.
I wouldn't doubt it. And it's like CNN. They released, they hired some mercenary guy to dig up dirt on him, and the one thing he pulled up was some BS story about Trump getting peed on at some party. Like what?
It was total nonsense.
It was total nonsense. And Trump's like, everyone knows that's not right. I'm a germaphobe. That's disgusting. Like, that's fucking gross. And it just, that's why I think I know that's why he's over CNN, I'm sure, along with some other reasons. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I think it's funny. It's interesting. We'll see where this world goes.
Interesting times, sir.
It is. I mean, we're living the dream right now. I mean, we could be in a fucking horrible country right now.
Speaking of Sean Merriman, Sean knows Donald Trump.
Really?
And Babalu knows Donald Trump.
We need to party with Donald.
We need to get Babalu on the show.
We do.
So when Sean Merriman was going through his lawsuit with Nike, Trump gave him some advice. He called him up. Well, I guess he hadn't seen him somewhere, and Donald Trump, let's exchange numbers, And then when he was going through that, he hit up Donald Trump, and Trump helped him. Trump gave him some assistance and had his attorney team help Sean win his case. Which is kind of cool. Like,
that is really huge.
With no financial incentive, he's told Sean, like, don't let these people screw you. I'm going to help you get what you deserve. And,
that's awesome.
And Sean got a big settlement from Nike. So,
well,
there you go.
It's always my hat's off to Donald. The Donald.
Yeah. And Babalu said he's awesome too. Babalu, because Donald was an official promoter for the Affliction events, like when Fedor fought. He was in the ring with him, taking pictures with him and stuff. And Babalu said he spent time in the office with him in New York and stuff. He said he's hilarious. I can't believe Babalu knows the president of the United States and we don't.
I know, it's so weird.
He's a fucking foreigner. Get out of here.
Get out of here, boy. God damn it.
Hey guys, this is Erik Apple from American Animals, and if you like our show and you're a real MMA fan, you got to check out Funky Van Askren, Joe Warren, and Sean Wheelock on the Lineup MMA podcast. These guys got some of the biggest name guests in the entire sport of fighting, and they talk about the shit that other fighters are scared to talk about. So check them out on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or lineupmma.com.
Hi there.
Hey guys.
We're back. American Animals.
Hey, boys.
Shout out to bjpen.com.
As always.
And the Underground, MMA.tv.
Yes.
As well as M120 Meals we already talked about. We're going to have some other sponsors to talk about here pretty quick. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to some sponsors, like Lay Right or like Caveman Coffee. Tate Fletcher's hopefully going to be in next week. And I want to start bringing sponsors on to kind of talk to us and see what we're all about so then they can start paying our asses.
I'm with you. Yes. So we only had one big event in the last week and a half. Not really much going on since New Year's Eve. We had UFC Fight Night 103, and from
Arizona, and it was depressing.
It was depressing. Let's start off with some of the lower fights. Did you see the Ezekiel choke that went down?
That was awesome, and it was funny because
Oleksiy Olink.
Yes, he set that up by letting the guy mount him. He gave him the mount. Like if you watch it over again, he gave the guy the mount so he could hit that Ezekiel choke from the bottom.
So for people who don't know what an Ezekiel choke is, let's explain it. An Ezekiel choke is basically you're wrapping up with one arm, controlling the head and the neck, and you're curling it in almost like you're doing a rear naked choke, but your opponent is facing you, and you're digging your fist into their carotid artery, cutting off the blood to the head, similar to what happens when you have a triangle choke.
You're basically you're creating scissors with your hands, and you're trying to pop their head off, kind of thing. If you don't know what any of the thing we're talking about right now as far as chokes go, and to have a guy that big do it to you, I mean, he's got to have some long ass arms. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's a hard move to hit.
I mean, it's pretty, and you also got to be pretty confident to tell a dude or think to yourself, I'm going to set up this win by letting this guy mount me.
Yeah, he has to be really good and confident with that move because it obviously works.
Well, he has several of them, right? Several wins that way.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure, but that was pretty. I liked it.
Let's move on. So some other guys whose names we know: Sergio Pettis and John Moraga.
Sergio really impressed me. I figured that John would beat him. I'll be honest. And Sergio,
I bet on Sergio.
Yeah, he took every shot that he would take from John, he would roll it off and then crack John back, and that's where he started to catch him over and over and over again. Even landed a takedown or two. He looked really good, and those guys are my weight. I would be excited to fight Sergio.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting fight. Yeah, I just feel like, but John Moraga, I mean, he's been around a while. You would think that he's
been top 5, top 10 for years, 5 years now.
Yeah,
he's a stud.
It's funny because I bet on Sergio to win. Mm-hmm. Even though knowing John Moraga is a top 5, top 10 guy, but I just feel like Sergio Pettis with you would be like a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, I mean it would. He's moving and he's moving less and less these days, but he's getting better. I would like that fight. I think it'd be a tough one, and I think that would put either one of us in line for a title shot real quick.
I think that'd be a good fight for you to call out after this fight.
Yeah.
Sergio Pettis.
He looked hot in that fight, so I would love it.
Plus, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah,
that's a smart one to call out.
Exactly.
That's a fight that you can win, and it's a good guy to say I beat him.
Good up and coming kid.
So let's move on. We haven't seen him in the UFC for a while. It's Ben Saunders. He defeated Court McGee, and I got that one wrong. I bet on Court, but it could have gone either way. That one.
I thought that Ben might, and I'm friends with Court. I thought Ben would maybe end up submitting him. Court's a cardio machine. He comes from Pit Elevated over in Utah, and that guy just works his butt off at that elevation. I mean, he's always got good cardio. He's just a grinder, like his nickname says, the Crusher. But he did better than I expected.
The elevation thing, most people don't really understand that the elevation thing doesn't matter unless you stay at that elevation until you're within 72 hours of your fight, because your high amount of red blood cells, your body will acclimate to the regular elevation again, and you'll lose those red blood cells, and you'll have done all that for nothing. So you have to, if you do elevation,
he lives there.
If you do the elevation, you have to stay there until like the day of your weigh-in or the day before. You can't leave a week before the fight.
No, I'm just saying, but he works that hard at that high of elevation, and it pushes him to a really high output.
But I see all these guys who do that. They're like, "Oh, I'm training elevation. I'm gonna have better cardio." It's like, well, how many days before the fight are you going to your fight? 5 days. Well, it's not doing shit, dummy.
Yeah. What science has found out recently, or somewhat recently, is that you should work out where there is the most oxygen, which would be sea level, because it's better for your body to work out with the more oxygen. It's healthier. And then to sleep at elevation, so your body does produce more red blood cells and all that stuff. But then again, if you're sleeping with less oxygen, it's harder to recover. So there's pros and cons to it all. I like training at the beach because it's just the fucking beach. It's where I've grown up and lived my whole life, and it's awesome.
It's where we belong.
Yeah, exactly. We're saltwater people.
Let's move on. Joe Lozon. He defeated Marcin Held in a unanimous decision.
Which was...
now, one judge gave it 30-27 for Joe.
I think it was closer for Joe than people give him credit for, but I still think he lost.
I mean, he got controlled.
Yeah, he did.
And he threatened with one sub, but he wasn't like...
Marcin didn't do anything with the control, though. He didn't really do much, where Joe was the one who was actually attacking. And he was attacking on the ground, which is pretty crazy, because Marcin Held is a stud grappler.
Yeah, I get it.
World class.
And Joe Lozon, everyone loves him. He's so funny. He gets on the mic, goes, I didn't win that fight.
He's a good guy.
How many fights must Joe have in the UFC by now? He's got to have a lot.
25?
Yeah, he's got quite a few, that guy. He's been around.
I calculated his bonuses the other day, and it came out to like $1,050,000.
Just in bonuses?
Just in bonuses.
What, he has 20 bonuses? No way.
He's got a lot of bonuses. I mean, they posted the number somewhere, and and I'm sure not all of them were for $50,000, but they were performance of the night bonuses. So they most of them, maybe they were, I don't know. So I just figured, let's just calculate at $50,000 a piece, whatever number they put up, and it was $1,050.
Wow.
Like, damn. Or yeah, I mean $1,050,000. It was amazing.
A whole $1,050.
Yeah.
Good for you, Joe.
$1,050,000. It was fucking, which is what, 21?
As the Bostonians would say, that's wicked awesome.
It's wicked awesome.
Last fight of the night, I don't really want to talk about that much. BJ Penn is defeated by Yair Rodriguez in a fight that I think was just stylistically, and it just, you guys so much taller than BJ. And I don't think when BJ fought Frankie, he looked terrible. I thought BJ was in shape and ready to go for this fight. He just never really got off, and it just stylistically was terrible.
Yeah, and he looked his age. He looked slow. You know, that was a big thing. Is his hands were slow. You know, and it's he's still tough as shit. He didn't get knocked unconscious. The guy's still got a granite chin. But I just think that you know, time itself has kind of moved past him.
Yeah,
and that's coming from a friend. You know, I would love to watch him fight like he used to, but it doesn't happen. It's not going to happen anymore.
I don't know what to say. It's a real bummer. Let's move on, though. I don't really want to talk about the one that much. Yes. So let's talk about the news. What's going on in the world? Let's see. Today, it was reported that Nate Diaz has applied for a boxing license in Nevada.
And he's been talking to Floyd Mayweather a bunch. I mean, Floyd went on record about talking to Nate about boxing, about all kinds of shit. So that's interesting. And the talk about Conor and Floyd is heating up. Dana offered him $25 million plus pay-per-view.
Yeah, so let's swing back on that. Both Floyd and Conor have been taking shots at each other in the media
for months.
All along, Dana's been saying, I don't know why these guys keep talking. If they want to do it, they have to go through me.
Yeah.
Because the UFC and the Zuffa and WME, IMG have the contract for Conor McGregor. Conor got a license in California, which nobody knows why, because Floyd doesn't fight in California anyways. He never will. And then they started kind of going back and forth talking about money, and Floyd made Conor an offer.
Yeah.
I believe it was $15 million.
It was $15 million plus they would split the pay-per-view.
Well, not split, but split it, but not split it evenly.
Well, no, that's just what Conor. You know, Conor was just fucking doing the usual thing. He was talking.
So then, no, that was Floyd who made that offer, and then.
Oh, I'm talking about, you know, Conor's just, we're gonna do that. So he just says shit.
So then Dana went on the herd, and said that, look,
with Colin Coward, right?
Yeah, we'll give each you guys $25 million plus we'll do a pay-per-view split.
Yeah,
we'll guaranteed $25 million. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's way below Floyd because Floyd makes hundreds of millions. Well, look.
And Floyd is asking for $100 million guaranteed.
Because, well, here's the thing. Floyd made a lot of money with Canelo and with Manny Pacquiao, but his last fight was Alberto.
Yes.
He only made I think 30.
He got a guaranteed 30 or 35.
Yes.
Which is his guaranteed number. But he
didn't even do 1 million pay-per-view buys.
No, he did 350,000 or something, where Conor's getting, you know, $1.5 million.
So I mean, Conor could fight anybody and gets at least 1 million pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Floyd, it's been proven that Floyd can't fight just anyone to get 1 million pay-per-view buys. Floyd would have to have a rematch with Manny, or fight a rematch with Canelo for it to be big money.
Exactly, and right now the record for pay-per-views is 4.8 million with Pacquiao and Mayweather. Now,
which is a number that I can't. Who's going to touch that?
Fucking crazy. But if anyone's going to give it a run for its money, it's going to be Conor.
Who's going to touch that number?
I mean, it's going to be $100 again, just like the Pacquiao Mayweather fight was. And I think they can, I don't know. I mean, man, imagine if they beat it. Imagine they pulled off 5 million people. The fucking money they would make. I mean, because they're both going to split 25 million, or they're both going to get 25 million. And let's say, you know, when it comes down to hard bargaining, Floyd gets 35, maybe they both get 35 million guaranteed. Then they split pay-per-view. If they get 5 million and they're both making a couple of $2, $3, $4, $5
they could each get to 9 figures.
They could for surely get to 9 figures. Let's say they're making $10. It's astronomical. It's insane.
Well, you know, the thing, if you hear when Joe Rogan tried to break down the pay-per-view thing, the problem was that Joe forgot the cable companies.
Yes.
He said, okay, the average pay-per-view is $60. They should do 1 million pay-per-view buys. That's $60 million. He's not remembering. The cable company takes half off the top.
I'm sure.
30 million's gone.
Yeah.
If you do 1 million buys at $60, 30 million's gone.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Oh, yes. Right away.
Like he's never factored that in. That leaves another 30 million for the UFC and for the fighters.
Yes.
So I mean, for them to talk about Nate and Conor each being guaranteed $10 million is not feasible at all.
Yeah,
it just couldn't happen.
Well, now if this happens and they pull it up because WME needs to make a return on their money. They need to start paying off that $2 billion loan. I mean, they took out $2 billion in loans, so they got to pay that off. And the quickest way possible to pay that shit off is to have Mayweather fight Conor, because they will make they'll make half a billion, and then you're good. You're good for a while there. Yep. And that'll cause so much interest in the UFC if they have a crossover fight, that what they should do is have them fight boxing with MMA gloves on.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Erik Apple from American Animals, and wow, I was listening to the Ocho Man Behind the 8 Ball podcast the other day, and I realized this might be one of the funniest fucking shows I've ever heard. You've got to check it out. These guys do 2 shows a week on the Lineup Media FM network, and I'm listening to all of them now. You can get them on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or ochoman.com.
American Animals is back.
We're back.
We have some more MMA news to go over with you.
Some crazy things are going on.
Yeah, so we talked about Nate Diaz. We talked about Fight Night 103. Let's move on. Mark Hunt. Yep. He is scheduled to fight the UFC 209, I believe.
Fighting Uberahim.
He's fighting Alistair Overeem Witten. This is extremely ironic because Mark was complaining so much about fighting multiple cheaters in his book, guys who got popped.
And he has. He's fought like 3 or 4 cheaters in a row, and he's gone through some shit for it. He got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar, who was hopped up on shit. And
I don't consider being on clomiphene hopped up on some shit.
Bro,
if I take some clomiphene, I'm not going to be all jacked.
But the guy was taking a lot of other shit before that.
Yeah, maybe months before.
Yeah, but
well, that brings up another thing, and I've actually had this conversation with multiple people. Morally, is it cheating if you take steroids when you're not even any time near a fight, 6 months before a fight, 8 months before a fight? Now, some people will say yes, some will say no. I'm in the middle. I'm like, well, fuck me. If I'm fighting a dude,
injuries or something, okay, sure, you get to take it. But
if I'm fighting a guy and I know he took steroids a year ago, but hasn't taken it since, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, this fucking cheater. I don't think that.
No, but at the same time, there was just such fuckery going on with that whole situation with him and Lesnar and that whole fight that I'd be pissed off too. And the fact that the other 2 or 3 people before that were popped for steroids, and now he's got to fight another guy who is fucking gigantic. Also been popped for steroids. So
who all got popped? He fought Frank Mir, who got popped.
Frank Mir, Antonio Silva.
That's right.
Brock Lesnar.
3 in a row. Yeah. And he said that he was originally supposed to fight Josh.
Yeah, who's another guy who's been caught for steroids a million times.
Well, it's not. Well, okay. Well, he didn't. We don't. First of all, it hasn't been announced what he got caught for this time. But we talked about this before.
Previously, he's been caught for steroids. What, 3 other times?
I believe 2 or 3.
So you get caught 3 times.
And I love Josh. But what I'm thinking is this. This is what's hard for me to believe and understand. We've talked about this every week. Josh was tested 13 times in 2016. And he got popped the last time. We don't know for what. It could be anything. It could be like one of these clomiphene situations or something like John Jones that was in one of his supplements. So I can't imagine that somebody as smart as Josh Barnett would get tested 12 times in 11 months and then go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take whatever I want. I got some fucking Winnie here. I'm just going to fucking slam this shit. Like, come on. I don't get it.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
You never know.
Well, you never know. I'm not Josh Barnett, but knowing Josh, I know he can't be that dumb. It had to be something he ingested weird, or there's got to be some kind of circumstances.
I hope so, because he could get a lifetime ban, and I really hope it is something random like that, because he's looking at a lifetime ban, which sucks. I don't know. Potentially, I'm just saying potentially, he could get a lifetime ban or a 4-year ban. Yeah, but a 4-year ban's the same shit. He's how old is Josh?
So I don't know. He's 37, 38.
Yeah, that's a 4-year ban. Even a 2-year ban's too long.
So for heavyweights, it's not over. Let's talk about Mark Hunt's deal though. So Mark Hunt is suing the UFC.
Yes,
he's suing Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. He's suing Dana White. Yep. And he may or may not be suing the Nevada Athletic Commission. Now, he's suing them for several different things, basically suing them for fraud.
There's a whole list of shit they've
He's saying that they conspired basically to cover up Brock Lesnar's
an actual conspiracy behind it. And a whole, it's a bit of a reach, some of it. But, I guess if you're going to go, all in, go all in.
Well, number one, he's trying to make a point and trying to change the way things work. Now, Do I believe, this is what Mark and his attorney thinks, which, by the way, his attorney's name is Christina Denning. She's a litigation attorney from San Diego, California. Yes. She's a young, well, I don't know young, but young to middle-aged blonde lady. She's supposed to be a litigator, and these are supposed to be the baddest lawyers, right? Litigators. They're the ones who go to court and argue, actually, and they speak publicly. Yeah. I heard this lady on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and
the Hebrew Hammer.
This lady wasn't a great speaker. And I was literally thinking to myself, lady, you're going to go to court with WME, IMG potentially. Yeah. And I will tell you right now, I was thinking like somebody should tell Mark Hunt, yo, you better get a better lawyer than that because they're going to eat that bitch alive. This girl will be like little orphan Annie getting taken in by fucking.
What's WME worth? Because obviously,
billions.
But I know how many.
I don't know. I'm sure
some crazy amount.
Spend a whole 3 seconds on Google to find out.
Yes.
But what Mark Hunt is alleging is that the UFC was aware of Brock Lesnar's failed drug test and just postponed the results being released until after the UFC 200 event because they didn't want to lose that big fight, which was what most people probably bought for because we all know most people didn't buy that fight to watch Amanda Nunes and Miesha Tate. Mm-hmm. Are you looking at how much WME's worth?
Yeah, it says they bought it for reported $2.4 billion. But,
that's what they bought the UFC for, but a lot of that was a loan.
No, I'm saying this was what they bought it for, what they merged.
WME and IMG?
Yeah. Purchased IMG. Yeah, WME purchased IMG for reported 2.4. I don't know. It's on there somewhere. It's a lot. They're worth a lot of fucking money. Anyways.
It starts with a B. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So that whole thing is just a battle that's going to be rough. But I don't know if he's looking to get paid out for it, but it could be the kind of thing where they just pay him out and shut him out.
Well, yeah. What they could be looking for is a settlement.
Yeah.
So Mark wants all of Brock Lesnar's money from his fight.
$2.5 million.
He got more than that. He was guaranteed that plus pay-per-view. Yeah. Brock was fined at $250,000, which Mark says is nothing, and he should be they should take all his money. Mark also wants his future opponents to sign something that says that if you get popped beating me, I get all of your money. Yeah. Which obviously no one's gonna fucking sign. Like I don't have to sign that. Why would I sign that? Go fuck yourself. Like you can't make me sign that shit. The other part is that in Mark's UFC contract, your UFC contract holds Zuffa. Holds Zuffa like they're not reliable. They're not responsible or liable for anything. Yeah. Like you can't hold them liable for anything. Your contract says you can't sue them.
Yeah.
But that's arguable because what they say is you can't sign away a constitutional right, and you have a constitutional right to sue anybody in America. So that's one of those things where when you sign a waiver, theoretically that doesn't really mean anything. That's like a trick for dumb people to go, oh, I signed this thing, I can't sue them. You can sue anyone you want.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an interesting thing. The only thing is a lot of people think that the UFC wants to avoid this discovery process, which is basically an investigation into all this stuff.
Into all the doping, and
they brought up Vitor Belfort because it was basically said that they knew Vitor's testosterone to epitestosterone level was 5 times.
Yeah, were that of a rhinoceros?
Yeah, and the same thing with Chael one time. I guess they specifically note those instances with the UFC, that the UFC was completely aware of that and let it go on. So it might be an ugly discovery process, and this is just another thing that Ari and those dudes at WME are going to be like, fuck, what did we get?
What did we buy? What the fuck?
Like looking at Dana going, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you fucked us.
You didn't really tell us you didn't really tell us all about these 17 fucking class auction lawsuits. Now we got Mark Hunt who's bringing up some discovery about you guys hiding guys juicing. Fuck.
Where are the bodies?
Conor McGregor's on vacation. Ronda's done. Who the fuck is Nate said go fuck yourself unless you have $10 million. 20. Yeah. So it's like, I wonder if these guys are going, motherfucker, we got to pay $500 million at the end of this year on this loan alone. That's just the interest.
The crazies are running the asylum.
It is not a joke. Let's move on. Your boy, Tim Kennedy, announced that he is done with the sport of MMA.
Yes.
Do you believe it?
I do. I think that he's in his late 30s. He's got so much more to do, business wise and life wise, like stuff that he loves doing in his sheepdog military training stuff and his teaching of other high level military guys and personnel. That he's in TV shows, that Finding Hitler thing. I mean, he's got his hand in a lot of stuff, and And he's a family man.
I mean, that show was a total failure. They didn't fucking find Hitler.
But he's got more stuff to do, and I get it. He said he goes, I felt 37. That was the problem.
Oh, you talked to him afterwards?
No, I just was going off one day. I text him. I just text him a heart.
I don't know what to think when is it. Do you think it's his age, or do you think it's more because of the fact that he took too much time off, or just a combination?
He said a combination. I mean, he said that the time off obviously didn't help, but that he felt his age a lot. And, I get it. It's he's been thinking about getting out for a long time. So he's out now. It's not a bad thing. I'm good for him. He hasn't taken much damage.
Yeah.
And he's still able to function and do a lot of other things he loves to do. So that's a plus for him.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, man, we already talked about it, but he looked bad against. I mean, I thought he would smoke Kelvin.
Yeah.
So that kind of.
I thought he was punishment for Kelvin missing weight and having to move
did
up.
I.
Maybe he was, but that didn't fucking work. God damn it.
Speaking of missing weight, Johnny Hendricks is moving up to middleweight finally. Dun 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 dun.
Well, he doesn't have a fucking choice.
You don't really seem to be you don't have many feelings about that?
No, I think that he's changed, man. I think maybe it's the knockout. He just seems really angry lately. He just seems pissed off and bitter
Yeah, but not angry the right way.
No, he's fighting like shit, not training hard.
He seems sad angry.
Yeah, he was saying that he was fighting. He only trained 4 days a week for that last fight. So I don't know. There's some shit going on, and maybe he just needs to give it up. I don't know, or refocus and figure some shit out, because the things he's been saying, like, I'm just gonna work out in the Missouri, the wrestling room in the Missouri or whatever, is Missouri or Oklahoma or somewhere, wherever he was talking about. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
None of this makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's finally made that decision. But I mean, he's had several losses in a row, and now you're going up a weight. That's not necessarily the best thing to do after a bunch of losses. Go fight some bigger guys.
Yeah, bigger guys who hit hard, and you've been knocked out, which is you're gonna hit some killers up there.
I mean, there's not many easy fights at middleweight, so that's going to be interesting for him. Let's move on. Conor McGregor. This man has filed for every single copyright and trademark under the sun for the name Conor McGregor and the Notorious.
Yes.
I mean, I got nothing bad to say about that. He's smart.
He's a smart guy. He's just doing his business. That's all it is. And I mean, realistically, what it is, it's someone else is doing it for him. Someone else said the idea, and he goes, "Oh yeah, fuck, do it." So they do it.
Yeah,
that's someone's job. When you're making that much money and you have that much fame and that much content to put out, because he's got the Mac Life. I haven't watched any of them, but I know he gets a lot of views. His website gets tons of hits, and the guy is just a business. And so
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. I really think Conor's got the world by the balls.
He does. He's doing amazing, and he's.
I'll tell you right now, he could tell Ari and those guys where the fuck he wants, and what are they gonna say?
Nothing.
He's their golden goose right now.
That's why I really, really think this Floyd fight's gonna happen, and they're gonna make a lot of money, man. They're all gonna make a lot of money, and the way they're gonna push this, because you've got Floyd's marketing machine that is behind him, that he's created or helped create. Then you have the Conor himself is just as big of a star, and then you have the UFC and WME behind it. Now I'm really thinking about it, you're damn right you're going to get fucking 5 million pay-per-view buys. You bet your fucking ass, man. They're going to crush this thing. They're going to knock it out of the park, and they're going to pay off all that debt, and then they're going to probably pay us even less. Fuckers.
Is that what you think?
I don't know. I do have a good outlook on my next contract, because I have an old contract. It's from fucking years ago. So I don't make shit, but the next one, especially after I go out and smash.
Is this your last fight under this contract?
I have 2, I think.
You have this one and then one more?
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, if I go out and put on a good performance and people start talking, maybe they'll redo my contract. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. My 3 years might be up, so I don't know.
Well, that didn't really work. Well, it did really work for Tony Ferguson.
No, I'm just saying, because once you're 3, whatever it is.
Whatever comes first, 3 years or 6 fights.
Whatever comes first. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not one of the guys, I'm not going to fight. No, bitch, I need fucking money and I need to fight. So I'm going to get these fights out of the way as soon as possible, and then I'll ask for my 9 figures.
Well, it's not like they haven't helped you in the past.
No, UFC's always been amazing to me, so I can't ever badmouth them. There's, it's just like family. You have spats, you have little shit with certain people in the company, but everything's good. Like they're always, they've always taken care of me.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't speak to how they've taken care of everyone else.
Yeah,
but Ian McCall's happy.
That's not my fucking issue.
It's not my problem.
Yeah.
I get along fine with them.
I do what I'm told, and I'm they've asked me a lot of random shit for them to do for them, and like stirring the pot and doing this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, we need more eyes on this. Fucking cause some trouble. I'm like, yes, So
really, you never told me that.
Yeah, I mean, not so much in those words, but basically, it was different. It was just kind of, hey, like no one's buying seats, no one's doing this. And like, can you see what you can do? I'm
really?
Sure. Yeah. And granted, it was secondhand information. It was from my agent, but.
And do you know where you are on the card for this next fight?
Undercard, I'm sure.
You're on Fox Sports 1?
I saw someone post a thing, and it was on the main card, and I text my agent, and I was like, "What's Jason House?" He's like, "No, you're on the prelims," which it only makes sense. I haven't fought in forever, and Neil's not ranked. I don't even think he's ranked top 15 right now.
I've been. I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of confused about some of the way they've been putting some of the fights. They've been putting some inexperienced guys on main cards, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, but I really feel they've gone out of their way to push women. Sometimes women, I don't even know who they are. They're like, that chick's in the main event? Who is that woman?
They're trying.
Who is that lady?
That's what it is. They're really just trying different things because WME is taking over, and they want to, they think they have a good idea because they're really good at what they do. And they're trying, and then you have the good-looking people are getting spots over the ugly ones, and
you're fucked,
and then you got
you're out of luck, brother.
Yeah, the one random thing is this Holly Holm Jermaine Randamie fight for the title, which I think it could be if they both come out and perform, because you've got a 18 or 19 time world boxing champion in Holly Holm, and you have a multiple time world champion Muay Thai kickboxer in Jermaine. So this could be fucking incredible. Granted, the Yevchenko fight and Holm fight, Holm looked like shit, very, very shelled up and not like herself. So that fight was boring. But if she gets back in her groove and they can throw down, that's going to be a fight that I am super stoked to watch and be a part of.
It's going to be exciting. I'm looking at the card right now. Last but not least, our guest that we're going to have later on the show today is Tyron Woodley. He is the welterweight champion. He was able to get that championship by knocking out none other than ruthless Robbie Lawler, his ATT teammate, in the first round. And we're going to have him on the show here in just a little bit. But
he's a guy that is such a stand-up guy, an incredible athlete, obviously world champion.
He's a stud.
He's good looking. He comes off across,
and he gets a lot of heat. But why?
I don't fucking understand. That's exactly what I was getting at. I don't understand. He even the shit that he comes from Ferguson. Like such a gnarly area, where you'd think maybe you'll get like which was my good friend Bobby Green, but Bobby Green's he's thuggy, he's ghetto as fuck, man, and Tyron comes from such a hood place, and he comes across, because he's an educated guy, he's a college wrestler, he is the exact kind of guy you want as a champion, and people just constantly give him shit. And on top of it, he's fucking good looking. He's a beautiful dude.
Yeah, he's a marketable guy.
He's built like a brick shit house, like a Greek statue, and he's a handsome ass black guy, and it boggles the mind now that I think about it more.
He's got those triceps that he like wiggles his arm, and they're flapping in the wind behind him. They're so big. It's like, Jesus.
God,
he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I never grappled with him or anything, but I can imagine he's pretty damn strong.
Yeah, and he's a lifelong athlete and a great guy. So it's good to see him finally, for one, getting, making money for what he's doing. And one weird thing that I want to bring up, I don't know if we'll have time with him, but was about the shit talking coming from the other side, from the other side of the tracks, from the fucking Thompson camp. From Thompson's dad. Have you seen it? It is so honky, like church-bound, annoying shit talk. I'm like, what the fuck are you even saying now?
Listen, what is it with karate dads?
I don't know. They're so stupid.
I don't know Stephen Thompson's dad. I don't know Sage Northcutt or his dad,
nice.
But I heard both their dads are just nuts.
Yeah, have you ever seen the Foot Fist Way?
Oh my God, we have to have that fucking movie play again.
It's
soon.
amazing.
That movie,
watch it.
Amazing.
But it makes you kind of think about karate.
No,
dudes.
jiu-jitsu sucks. What you need is taekwondo, a deadly killing system. No, what did he say? I heard yoga is really good.
Yeah.
He goes, how's that work? You ever tried yoga in a gang rape situation?
Yes, when the chick's in there.
The Foot Fist Way, if you guys haven't seen it, that's with homeboy that played Kenny Powers.
Danny McBride, and he plays... It's basically Kenny Powers, who is a Taekwondo instructor. It is fucking incredible. It is so good. Danny, and it's one of those movies that it was a B movie, so it never got a lot of play, but man...
Will Ferrell bought it, I think, and distributed it.
It's incredible. It is really incredible.
We're just so off track, but I love it. You know what it is? It reminds me of Rex Kwon Do.
Yes.
But a whole movie about Rex Kwon Do.
Yeah, and way better. Like, Rex Kwon Do was great, but man, Danny McBride is able to pull off this white trashy...
He's an MMA fan. We should get him on the show. That'd be amazing.
We know someone that knows him for sure, so we need to do it. I'm trying to get like Zach Galifianakis on, or like, there's all kinds of random people we can get on here.
Who love MMA, who would love to just sit here and talk about the sport with us. You know, speaking of that, I want you guys to find our YouTube channel.
Yes.
YouTube.com/ or just search American Animals on there. You can find it on our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Instagram.
Yeah, we're posting. I haven't posted yet, but we're going to post the links on our social media.
So what happened was, Ian, is people have been taking our audio content, putting it on their YouTube channel,
motherfuckers,
and they just posted like pictures of like you and like our guest or me and like whatever guest is talking. And some of these videos,
like good pics. Like, do I look sexy?
You're a sexy bitch. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, are they the sexier pictures of me?
Is there a plethora of sexy pictures?
Like, am I sprawled out? Is there, am I clothed? Am I not clothed?
So I found these pictures, and some of these pictures and these videos have 50, 60,000 views
in a day.
Like one of me and Gilbert had 60,000 videos in a day, 60,000 views, and I was like, motherfucker. So I said, we got to put some effort into it,
and we need to start videotaping this show. We're looking at doing some good audio.
I talked to another camera company that would be interested in sponsoring us possibly today.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on it, and I'm looking at one right now, 60,096 views. Gilbert Melendez, when he talked about Khabib versus Conor coming up.
Yeah.
So hey, people are into it.
I like it. It's interesting, and it gives us more content for you guys. So hopefully you check it out and go subscribe. Because we need, the more followers we get or subscribers we get on YouTube, the easier it is for other people to find us
in the searches. So find us and follow us on YouTube, as well as subscribing to us on iTunes and everywhere else, so you can listen to us.
Hey guys, Erik Apple from American Animals here, and guess what? Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. And you get it right through our website. I'll tell you one example and a great thing I would recommend. I'm a Star Wars fan, and the best thing to do is listen to audiobooks, the Star Wars audiobooks. They're great, and they have awesome sound effects as well. So download your free audiobook today. Go to audibletrial.com/animals. Again, that's audibletrial.com/animals for your free audiobook, or check out our website, www.2americananimals, and that's the number 2americananimals.com.
All right, welcome back to American Animals. You're hanging out with Ian McCall as well as Erik Apple. And remember, you find us at 2 American Animals on every single form of social media known to man.
Or the lineupmedia.fm.
That's right.
Website. They've got a whole bunch of different podcasts that are awesome, including my Storytime with Uncle Creepy show, and then this show, of course. So it's there's a lot of good content on there.
There is. And we have our guest this week, and he's another big one. We've been getting some really big guests, a couple champions, and we got yet another one. Mm-hmm. And this is the chosen one, none other than Missouri's own Tyron Woodley. Tyron, welcome to American Animals, champ? Brother.
Man, thank you guguys. I appreciate you having me on.
Anytime.
Thank you. We know you've had a super, super busy day out here. The UFC has had you running from 5 a.m. till 6 p.m. today?
Pretty close, man. Pretty close. I've been moving and shaking and trying to pump up this fight, man. UFC 209, March 4th in Vegas. So I'm trying to, make sure these pay-per-view numbers do what they should do.
Nice.
That's right. And now you get a piece of that pay-per-view, so it's all about the promotion, isn't it, Tyron?
I get a little slither of the pie.
Beautiful. That's what I like to hear.
You got to start somewhere. At least you're a partner now. You're a partner, so you got to promote. And you're doing that. I seen you on Sports Center first thing this morning. And, man, you have had a war of words with your former opponent and your soon-to-be opponent, Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I just got to make things clear. I'm not saying anything that's not true. I just feel as if, some things are clear. I feel like I won the fight. I feel like, at times he did seem a bit entitled. As martial artists, man, we have to earn our key, and I feel like I've earned it the old school way, man. I never was given a handout. I can't remember the last easy fight I had. So with that said, I've gotten to this point. I've always respected the person in front of me, and he seems as if he's the champion. If he's wearing a belt, I'm coming for his strap. So I just have to point those things out.
Well, let's review your fight with him. Now the judges gave you guys a draw. I wasn't that surprised. You definitely, the fight could have been stopped in the fourth round.
Yes.
Judges gave you a 10-8 in that round, but it seems like you kind of hesitated in some of the other rounds that didn't really pressure or use your wrestling to dominate like you did in the first round. Looking back at that fight, it seems like a fight that if I was you, I'd be looking back and go, man, I made a lot of mistakes and it was still a draw and I almost finished in the fourth. If I just perform a little bit better, I'm for sure going to finish this guy.
I feel like he answered the question for me, but I had a little bit more strength to it. I feel that exact way. I feel like even with me only completing 25% of what the game plan was, I feel like I still want to fight. I can get better. I can defend more strikes. I can move forward more. Every time I move forward, those are the times I was landing the meaningful strikes. And I didn't even really take one offensive wrestling takedown. He threw a kick. I countered it. He hit the ground. So with that said, yeah, I can expound upon that performance. Use more wrestling, use more planks, use more groundwork, pressure more forward. And with that said, man, I really leave no openings for him to be Wonderboy.
Yeah, I really think that you have. You've shown that you've learned to really control and kind of, learn how to keep your pace for a longer time. Maybe that you've worked more on cardio, but it just seems like you've gotten more comfortable with controlling how to use your aggression, how to use your athleticism, use your speed and your power. So it seemed to really last for the whole 5 rounds. And damn, man, you looked really good. I'm not gonna lie, it was beautiful.
Well, I appreciate it, man. A lot of people are surprised because they just hear these, oh man, you got all those muscles, you're gonna get tired. they hear it and nobody wants to do research. Nobody want to pick up a book. Nobody want to ask an expert on the area. We want to hear a soundbite. We'll listen to, someone say, hey, man, a person with a lot of muscles, man, it come at a cost, man. You want to hit that gas. We listen to that, but how many times did you see that happen with Mike Tyson or Bo Jackson or Walter Payton or Herschel Walker? These people are built the same way. You do have to know your body. I know my body very well. I've been this muscular since I was a kid. And I know how to operate. I know how to move with these muscles. So with that said, I think I'm just being a more patient fighter, and I'm looking at my opportunities a little bit more wisely. And that's probably what guys are noticing. It's not so much I'm doing, I'm actually doing less. Before I was doing too much. I'm doing less, and I look better in fights.
I've done that a lot. I've changed camps, and I've really tried to tailor the camp to me not getting hurt, to me having more energy. And I'm a month out, and I've never felt this good before a camp. And all my workouts, are at most 90 minutes, more like an hour. They're real short. I get what I need to get done, and then I get out and I relax. I get a lot of recovery time.
Yeah, at this point, you don't have to prove it, and you guys are at a lighter weight, man, so you guys can keep a pace and a speed that a welterweight can't keep. I can't fight like you or Demetrius Johnson or Joseph Benavidez, all these other guys, so you know that the weight, you know how the opponents are going to be competing, so you have to train so you can be the most competitive, so you got to be smart.
Tyron, is this fight, is it frustrating for you? Or, I know that you were looking to move on. You were talking about fighting Bisping and looking at other opponents. Is it frustrating, or is it starting to get easier for you because Stephen Thompson's been a little disrespectful, and do you almost want to teach him a lesson?
I wish I could teach his damn fans a lesson.
or his dad.
Terrible fans. Goodness gracious. I want to line them up one by one and spin and we'll kick them. But for me, it's not. So I never take it personal. I always respect my opponents. It will be easier to prepare for him this time. The first time around, I just wasn't used to the martial art, and I submerged myself in his background. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks before I even felt comfortable blocking just a simple side kick. So for me to get to the point where, he only landed 3 or 4 kicks the whole fight. He was scared to throw the kick because he paid the big price in the opening round. So if I can take away his biggest gifts, his ability to blitz, throw kicks, and I can neutralize him, what is he going to do, wrestle me?
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to before. Is I feel like that Stephen Thompson, he pulled off a draw with you, but I feel like that was as good as his performance was going to get. Like, what else could have gone right for him in that fight?
Exactly.
Yeah, he had a great performance. I really disagree with any judge. 2 judges didn't give the 4th round a 10-8. I disagree with that. You don't score points for surviving. If I'm in a fight and I get beat up 4 minutes and 55 seconds and I look like, and I pop my head out and like, I didn't get knocked out or I didn't get choked out, it's still a 10-8 round. That point was deducted because it was extremely dominated one-sided round. He was knocked down 2 to 3 times in a round. He was in 2 to 3 different submissions. He was bleeding. It looked like the referee could have got involved. And even when he popped his head out, he didn't land any blows. So what they said, I agree with you. He cannot make up years and years of high-level wrestling, years and years of just being explosive, train hard, the mentality, just the body type. He can't make up those things. I don't care who he brings in. He can bring in Dan Gable and Kale Sanderson. He's not going to make it up in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing that so many people forget in this sport is they forget where they came from. They forget their roots. And that's going to lead me to my next question with you. You said after the fight, you don't know why you used more wrestling. And we see it more and more these days in the UFC and in MMA. Guys with great grappling backgrounds are turning into boxers and kickboxers, and they forget their roots. How do you stop from doing that and go back to what makes you a winner in addition to your hands?
I did do that. I did that, in this fight. I did that in several fights. You can't forsake what got you there. And I did that in this fight. And, I went back to the drawing board a couple of times, and I incorporated so much more wrestling. Not only is wrestling going to put you in a different mindset, it's a grind. Your conditioning level goes to the roof if you're doing that really competitive wrestling, or even a really high-pitched drill. So this fight camp and this training camp, I will wrestle more. I will put myself in a position where, I'm attacking more, not just with my hands, but also with my wrestling. So I agree with you, and, I'm guilty of it, and it could have cost me the fight.
I mean, we see it all the time where, people like you, again, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he can wrestle with anyone on the planet for the next 3 months, and it's not going to matter. It's not going to make up the difference. So it's like, why do you want to play his game when he can't stop yours?
Sometimes it's just an ego. I want to show you that, I can knock you. I can outstrike you, and I did outstrike you.
Yep.
So maybe we chop that up and say, hey, I proved that. I got that out the bag. And Duke Ruger said it best. He said, I'm not your striking coach. He said, I'm your winning coach. He said, don't not use your wrestling. If you got 20 years of wrestling, why wouldn't you use that? He said, think about George St. Pierre, a buddy of mine, Lynn Odie. I think you know Lynn from when you did the Warrior.
I know Lynn, yeah, of course.
So Lynn told me, he said, Tyron, you got 20 plus years of wrestling. George St. Pierre was one of the greatest welterweights ever because he only lost 1 or 2 rounds total in an 8-year span because he understood time. He understood when to wrestle, when to clinch, when to take down, when to use the space, when to brawl, when to bang. So you put it together in every piece. And I think, it's silly not to take that rubric and not to look at what George did and start to mimic, at least some of his strategies.
Awesome. Now, what I want to ask you is about Duke. Are you exclusively training with Duke? Are you still going down to ATT in Florida?
Oh, yeah, I went down there for a couple of days. Right when I started the camp, I got some working with Mikey Rod and Dean Thomas. I'm in L.A. right now training with Sage Northcutt, training with Raymond Daniels, and my boxing coach, got Wild Cards. And I'll go to Milwaukee to start putting things together, And I tell you, man, the game has changed quite a bit. I used to spar really hard 3 days a week when I was in camp. When I wasn't in camp, I used to spar to get in shape. So I was spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday, boxing, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Muay Thai, and I'm a wrestler on Wednesday. So that was just straight stupid. And I was doing it, and I thought in my mind, I'm going to pump my body into getting in shape real fast. But I was injuring myself, and I was, breaking myself down. So now I might spar hard once or twice a week. I might do a lot of timing sparring, a lot of drilling, a lot of repetition, a lot of situations, and a lot of positions, and just really become a master at each area.
Yeah, it seems, that the obviously the less sparring and the removal of headgear has become a big thing when people do spar because, you just Vaseline up so you don't get cut. But, having a smaller object or not having your head surrounded by what you think is padding, but in reality is giving you a larger surface area to have your neck tweaked and your brain, kind of sloshed around. So what are your thoughts on headgear versus no headgear?
Man, I hate headgear. I always start with headgear.
I hate it too.
I might make it a round or two, but I always got to come up off of it. I'm like, hey, man, if you worried about protecting me, just don't punch me as hard. If you get to a shot at 25, 40%, I know in a fight you could have hit me at 100. I could have been knocked out. The fact is that you got the punch off. And also, it makes you want to move your head. Sometimes we be like, oh, I'm tough, I can take a punch. But you take a punch to 16 and then whatever the weight of the headgear is, you take a punches with that. So when you make someone take the headgear off, and also I don't like you have those little cheeks in the bar. I can't really see uppercuts, and I feel like kind of claustrophobic where I can't really see shots coming.
Yeah.
So I try to start with the headgear, but to answer your question, and I usually take it off.
I can't stand the headgear either.
Yeah, I've started to kind of get rid of it, for the most part. But this camp, I haven't worn it, and I like the difference, and especially if you have training partners that, like you said, he's not going to throw a full power shot. He's throwing 25, 35, 45% and touching you with it. It's not like you guys aren't trying to sleep each other. You're trying to just score points and get in better positions and work on technique.
Yeah, I think the hard training, to really push through when you're tired, say that for your strength and conditioning. Say that for, push your cardio, push your body to the limit. If you're trying it around, make a choice to step forward, make a choice to throw punches even when your arms are burning. But don't think that you got to go ham. That's when guys get injured. And at this level, man, you got a family support, you got, career aspirations, you got money on the line. You can't come up short and not make it healthy to a fight. So I would say all that crazy flipping the tires and pushing sleds, don't get grimy on those workouts. Yeah. Get real technical, real precise on the other workouts.
Yeah, and do you ever do any pool work? Because I've started to do a lot more pool work and get rid of all the pounding on my body from other stuff. So my high-end cardio, my sprinting, and even my low-end stuff where, I use the big hydro bells and I put on my hands and I'm sitting there punching for 45 minutes straight. I've really grown to love that. Did you ever try and do pool work?
I started the pool work, but I'm going to be honest, my big, muscular-ass body hates the water.
Yeah.
And I just have not been able to be efficient enough in the water, so I can swim a few laps, but Demetrius, I talked to him, he'll swim 30 minutes straight. But he got a coach that's sitting there, and he cannot get out the pool. He's sitting there waiting. You can't stop, you can't get out the pool. I just don't think I can make it more than 5 minutes.
Tyron, don't feel bad. Listen, I've grown up in Hawaii and in Southern California. I've grown up in the ocean, and I hate swimming. It's not just you.
It's horrible.
It's hard.
But see, the thing is,
I want to do it because I know it's such a great workout.
It's the best cardio.
Yeah.
Running on concrete and pounding.
Yeah, there's zero impact. And well, see, the one thing is I don't even swim. I've got a belt that goes around my waist that keeps me floating upright, and I have these things I hold in my hands. They're called hydro bells, and they're basically like paddles that are facing multiple directions around your fist, and you're sitting there just punching straight. You can do sprints. You can just kind of be mellow. Like this morning, I did 45 minutes straight of just punching. So I think I got in over 2,000 punches. It's pretty incredible. I recommend it to everybody.
In a month when you fight, you're going to be out there freaking your punch volume should be nuts.
Exactly. That's the plan. Zero impact on my body and a really high punch count.
Oh, Tyron knows when you fight. He's on top of it.
Exactly.
He's doing a good job behind that commentary desk.
This is Erik Apple from American Animals, and if you're a real MMA fan, you know all about the UG, that's the Underground, and mixedmartialarts.com. I'm on there every day, and so should you be. I'll tell you what, they do a podcast on Lineup Media FM every week, and it's hands down one of the best MMA podcasts out there. They get huge guests, and they do an incredible job getting access to every part of the sport. Check out the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and ugpodcast.com.
I want to ask you about that in a minute, Tyron, but one more question about your upcoming fight. We talked about how, you didn't quite maybe use your wrestling as much as you would have liked to in your last fight, and you said it could have possibly cost you the fight. You got the draw. And now you're still working with guys like Raymond Daniels and Sage Northcutt, and, are you doing it again so you can fight a stand-up fight? Because what I'm thinking is that's going to take you away from wrestling.
No, I can say, hey, I'm gonna make you miss every kick, and I'm gonna just make you down. I can do that all I want. But those kicks are gonna come. The times are gonna come. The counters are gonna come. I have to be able to see it. You know how bad of an idea it is just to shoot naked kill a takedown with no strikes, no setups, and no counters. So
yep.
The wrestling has to be based around getting in close enough to take the person down safely off a good combination, or off him, aggressively pursuing me, or off a leg kick. So that said, I will focus a ton on wrestling the opponents, but those opponents should be people that have that base of striking, not just, hey man, just throw this wheel kick at me and I'm gonna try to take you down. He's not gonna throw it the same way. He's not gonna have the second move. He's not gonna say, if I miss this, I go to that. That's what a point fighter would do. They go, hey man, maybe miss this, but if you push my leg away, I'm going to spin and I'm going to throw this right after it.
Well, there's so much dexterity in the feet of both Raymond Daniels and Sage Northcutt. Tell us the truth. The first time you sparred with Sage and Raymond Daniels, what was going through your mind? Like, oh my gosh.
I got my ass whooped twice. I'm a lie to you on here. No, I got kicked to the cage. I got kicked to the cage. Raymond, Raymond's and Sage is a lot different. Sage, he don't throw a side kick to gauge you and keep you at the end and hope you come in to do a spinner kick. He coming in like 300. He's trying to say this is Sparta. Kick your rib through. Raymond is the opposite. He's being elusive, and he wants to make you get out of position, similar to Wonderboy. He want to counter you fast. If he gets you backing up, he will blitz you. He will pressure you, but he is hard to hit. He's hard to catch up with. So just seeing both of those different sides, I'll say this a lot. Wonderboy, he didn't like when I said it, but I fought Wonderboy in the fight. And I'm telling you, if I had Sage stand across the cage from me and I had Wonderboy, I'm going to be more worried about Sage striking than Wonderboy. I'm going to be worried way more about Raymond Daniels striking than Wonderboy as well.
That's the whole point, right? That's why you put yourself with the right people to make yourself a greater champion so you can have that legacy to build, correct?
Yeah, and Duke Rufus has a great group of guys. I'm not diminishing any of that. He got Eric Koch, who would have been a great asset. He got, obviously the Pettis brothers. Got my brother, Mike Vicky Rose, Cheryl. Those guys all come from that background of Taekwondo. But I'm talking about the world class. These guys are world class in this art. You know what I mean? And they, Sage will say it. So Raymond will. Raymond said, hey, he wasn't the best. Yeah, he had a great record, but he wasn't the best in this sport fighting world. And he's not on my level. So if I'm training with that person that's so, convicted and so confident in that makes me confident when I walk out there. If I get to the point where I can at least feel comfortable going through rounds, not getting hit, getting proper angles, closing the gap properly against him, it's going to give me extreme confidence against Wonderboy.
You mentioned Duke Rufus, and I want to know how much have you enjoyed that atmosphere there and the guys that are there, because it seems like you've really found a lot of synergy and you've really found a home there, even though you're still going to ATT at times.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was running my own show for a long time. I was doing all, hey, let's do this, and we would do workouts at ATT. Let's do verticline sprints. Let's do bag work. Let's do band work. Let's go to the track. Let's go outside. And I'm not saying don't work hard, guys. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that I was doing too much. I was beating my body. Anytime a strength and conditioning workout or sprints make your legs hurt, you feel like crap for sparring, then you are making the supplement workout your primary workout. Sparring is the closest thing you can get to a fight. So I should be fresh. If I'm going to be sore for anything, it's going to be sore to do strength and conditioning. Or sore to do cardio. So I think Duke helped me realize that Tyron, none of my fighters have ever shown any type of fatigue in fights. They all punch at a very high volume. They all are very smart. They have a really high fight IQ. We know what we're doing. You got to trust and believe that, hey, you doing too much. He said you working too hard. You know what I mean? You're working against yourself. And I had to really buy into the product and believe in, his results and his coach. I mean, his fighters.
Duke is the man. I first had the opportunity to train with him, I think 12, 13 years ago. Tyron, I have a question for you. Does he still hold pads for you and then just let you kick his leg? Does he still let people do that?
Yeah, I feel bad a little bit because, I got these big old legs. And he showed me how to use them. So, to be honest, I had passed every single night in training camp. I know that sounds like a lot, but sometimes it's playful, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's just enough to see what he needs to see that I work the bag. But, I get so much one-on-one time with Duke is unreal.
I mean, that's a very, very good situation you got going there. I'm happy for you, sir. So tell us.
I appreciate it.
Let's switch gears. We want to talk about your commentating, man. You've been doing a better job. You're starting to get the hang of it. Are you starting to like it, or you do not want to get too in love with it because you got to focus on being the champion?
No, it's easy because luckily, I'm blessed to have been to a lot of cities and built a lot of relationships. So I got a lot of training opportunities in California. So when I'm out there, I can't get to wild card boxing every time. My coach is so tied up with training individuals. He can't get to me, so when I get a chance to train with him, it's two birds, one stone. I want to be the best at everything I do. I am, working hard at getting better. I got a lot of, big shoes to fill. Brian Sands, one of my favorite analysts. All these guys are so different, and I've really found my groove, what separates me from everybody else. And that's my lane, and I just stay in my lane.
Which person do you think you work best with on the analyst desks?
A better answer, I thought that I would clash the most with Bisbee because Bisbee is such a free spirit. He's such an attention freak.
He's
that I was
a free
just
spirit.
100% imagine.
It's a nice way to put it.
I thought he would be a team takeover, but to be honest, man, when people don't understand how hard it is to be on television and do stuff like that, Bisbee's really freaking good. He's really good. He was really great to work with. And I had to play Scottie Pippen. He was in there shooting threes, dunking, slamming. He was Michael Jordan that night when I worked with him, and I just kept throwing the ball up and passing it to him because at the end of the day, the goal is to have an amazing show, and that's just being a team player. So I work well with everybody. Me and Kenny work both together. I do enjoy working with Rashad as well, kind of like brothers. We got a lot of history. I've only worked with DC a couple times, and I did an audition with Dom. We haven't done any shows, so they're starting to mix it up and see who paired well with who, but I can mesh with anybody.
I mean, how much do you appreciate the fact that you have this opportunity to do something like that, and that's something that you can look forward to doing, when you're not able to fight anymore?
It's always great to have an exit strategy. I don't want to be fighting and one day it doesn't make sense for me to do that anymore, and I'm like, damn, what am I going to do now? I don't even know. I'm opening a Jamba Juice or something, and I just don't want to be that fighter. I've seen so many of my friends and so many people I care a lot about that just seem so lost when they retired, and I don't want to be that guy. So that's why you see me doing some acting, you see me do some stunt work, some commentating, and I try to diversify myself. When I leave fighting, I'll go right into another chapter of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's the smartest way to do it. That's it's why we have this show. looking for a life after fighting.
That's right, and we're gonna bring.
This is your chance to promote yourself and for people to know who you are. Like I love fighting for the UFC. I think it's a great promotion. But every time we do a countdown or embed it might not be my filter. It might be something else I would have put on there or cut.
Yeah.
I got full control on my podcast, on my video blog on YouTube. Make sure you guys can check out the Champ Life. And also the Champ Camp, this is my list. And sometimes fans, they get behind you a little more stronger if they know you and why you're fighting all the things that you got to sacrifice.
Oh, of course. This is a content-driven world.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Now, you have your podcast going that TJ DeSantis also produces. That's D's Nuts.
Yeah, the Morning Wood Show with D's Nuts,
That's
me and the homie Dean Thomas. We try to get down with that. We try to have fun, man. We do the same thing like you guys do. Get a good content, but also we'll branch off and we'll talk entertainment, we'll talk politics, and we'll have fun with it too.
So then also, you have the podcast going. How do people find you on social media?
They can find me at TWOOODLEY on all platforms. I'm on Snap, Instagram, Twitter, more importantly, man, I'm putting out some pretty epic freaking vlogs. Nobody in the fight game right now is doing it like me as far as quality and get the story and message out. So make sure you guys go to YouTube, subscribe to Tyron Woodley, check out the latest episode of the Champ Vice, episode 2, and Champ Camp, we filming it as we speak.
All right, well, I'm going to find it right now and subscribe to that page. We just started our YouTube page last week. It was funny. People were stealing our audio content and posting it on their YouTube channels, getting 50, 60,000 views in a day, Tyron. And I was like, that's it. We need our own YouTube channel. So I just started that the other day.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So we'll find, no, but it's okay because they're promoting us. They're promoting us. It's all right.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm going to find yours. I'm going to subscribe to it. I'm going to put a link to it on our page. Real quick before I let you go, I know we're short on time. Do you have a quick comment for us on Robbie Lawler leaving ATT? Anything to say about that?
I don't have a ton to say about it. He wasn't an original American Top Team member. I feel like he came in, he was able to put the pieces together. He's always been a world-class fighter. They helped him put the pieces together to win a world title. That was his reward. I don't know if he felt as if more was owed or deserved for winning a world title, but I've been American Top Team since day one. I don't know if he left because of me. I haven't talked to Robbie in a while. But, I have no hard feelings. I like Robbie a lot. It was uncomfortable fighting against him because I respect and like him so much. But at the end of the day, man, this is just a fight business. How many, opportunities will you get to fight for a world title? If you get that opportunity, you got to go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Last but not least, do you have any comment on the Black Stallions team basically they said it's basically splintered and gone?
Yeah, I can't speak a lot on the logistics on how it happened. It sounded as if they didn't have a ton of notice, and they just like, oh, we came to the gym and it's closed down. Obviously it's a competitive team of American Top Team, but I'm really friendly with so many guys. Michael Johnson, Rumble, Usman, Rashad's like one of my big brothers, man. So I never want to see a team go through that type of despair. Man, low-key was really at Dan Lambert badly, man. I really moved to say, hey, man, let's try to get Rashad over to American Top Team. Not only just as a fighter, because he's high level and got a big name, but he's such a great coach that when he's entered into this last few fights in his career, when he decide whatever that time is that he wants to hang it up, you've been a great asset and a great mentor for fighters.
Yeah, he's definitely a great influence and just a great presence on the team. Tyron, thank you so much for coming on here for a few minutes. You're a gentleman. You're a gentleman. You hold yourself with a lot of class as a champion. I appreciate you very much. I'm always cheering for you, sir.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, there he is, Tyron Woodley, signing off, flying back home to some training.
They UFC sent him out to do all that media, and he's busting his ass out here. It's good to see. I mean, he's really taking the championship role in stride and promoting himself. He's really trying to put the effort out there, and it's good to see. A lot of people don't really seem to work that hard to promote themselves, and he's really doing it and doing a good job.
Hey listeners, Erik Apple from American Animals, and today's podcast is brought to you by Amazon. It's really easy to support American Animals. Before you shop at Amazon, and we know you all do it, go to our website. That's the number 2, AmericanAnimals.com, and click on the Amazon banner on the homepage. It's that easy. Remember, that's 2AmericanAnimals.com, and click the Amazon banner before you shop.
Well, here we are in American Animals, and we can do another 10, 11 minutes, and we can be finished here, Mr. McCall.
We got this shit.
This last weekend I had a pretty good time.
What'd you do?
I went down to Supercross in San Diego.
Thanks for the invite.
Well, I specifically took Bill and his son to Supercross
Just kidding.
as a guest of.
I don't give a fuck about anything.
They were Feld Motorsports who puts on.
Yeah, and he has a child that wants to go see.
So Todd Gendro and Dave Prater were very gracious and invited us to the show.
Wonderful.
So thank you to those guys at Feld Motorsports. We had a nice time.
It's always fun to go, especially that way. If you guys don't know, what Supercross is, it's this awesome motorcycle race, a dirt bike race
inside a stadium.
Inside a stadium, it's madness. There's pyrotechnics and there's. Everything is it's a lot of fun. And to go sit in a box, where you just hang out, and it's so much fun to watch and smell.
Yeah, so we went to the people who run Supercross. We went to their suite, and it was literally there was 2 guys and their wives from the Padres. I don't know who they were. And then the president of Supercross and a couple other people, and then me and Bill and his son. And It was real nice, and it was high, so you could see everything really well. Then we went down to see our friend Sonny Garcia, who's been on the show. It was his birthday last weekend, so we went down and hung out in the suite that his girlfriend bought for him for his birthday because she can afford it.
She's rich.
And we hung out there. We got to sit with Ryan Hagee, and Ronnie Feist, and then Jeremy McGrath came and sat with us, and
the crew of motocross boys.
So Bill's son Gage, who is, he knows about Supercross and stuff. He got to hang out. He got to sit with Jeremy McGrath.
Jeremy McGrath is the
winningest all time. The winningest all time. With Jeremy McGrath competing in Supercross, it actually kind of sucked because he was so much better than everyone that he would be like literally sometimes 60 seconds ahead of second place by the end of the race.
He was
It'd be a fucking joke.
Killing everybody.
It would be a joke.
And that was for like a decade long. I mean, he was so fucking good.
It was bad. I mean, nobody. Emig was always second. And he couldn't even come anywhere close. I think Emig won a points championship one year because Jeremy was hurt. But nobody could even like breathe on McGrath until Carmichael all of a sudden got real fast.
Yeah.
So we had a nice time down there. I dug out a tractor with Bill.
Really?
I literally, with a shovel, me and him dug out a tractor. He got stuck in a creek.
Sounds like fun.
So that was cool.
Very rednecky of him.
Very rednecky. We lifted weights together. I taught Mr. Goldberg some things about these shoulders, bro.
Fucking guy, dude. I'm sure he's just Jesus gorilla strength.
Well, he's been hitting it pretty hard, and he's gotten a lot bigger in the last couple months. Since he's been back in wrestling. I mean, he had to. It's really interesting the stuff he tells us. I mean, he tells me about his warm up and the stuff he does in the locker room.
I got to go down there and run him through a workout.
You should,
just to fuck with him and just see how I can mess with him and work on stuff.
A couple things to take away from this weekend. Number one, Bill and his son never stop eating. Never, never. Like literally, it's like a competition to who can like continue eating without stopping.
How big is Gage now?
He's 110 pounds and he's like 9 years old. He's huge. He's got a big thick head and he is not afraid of confrontation. He wants to wrestle. All he wants to do is wrestle with me and play tackle football.
Perfect. I can wrestle with him and I can tell his dad to do shit that sucks.
I mean, the kid wanted to like just do physical shit with me all day. So he's not afraid of bigger people or athletes, obviously. Yeah. He's got a big, thick meathead. He's going to be a tough dude for sure.
Good.
They never stop eating.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And I'm over here trying to lose weight. Bill's
I got my meal bag, man.
And Bill's just talking shit to me, making fun of me, like telling me how gay I am. And I'm like, oh, God. So there's that. Number two, I got invited to go to Royal Rumble.
Lucky. Awesome.
On the jet.
Which is amazing. You get to go with the gold.
Bill and Wanda and Gage.
That's going to be fucking amazing.
He says he's never taken anyone on the jet with him, and I kind of believe him because he doesn't really like anybody.
Yeah, I definitely believe him. Hey, so fucking.
Do you think he's ever?
Grumpy
do you believe that? Do you believe he's never brought anybody on the jet?
Yeah.
Man, I feel pretty fucking special.
You should. Yeah. Well, you're like his oldest child.
It's true because I'm playing with his kid the whole time, half the time at the house. And it's funny, his wife wanted to text me after I left, and she said, Gage keeps on asking when is Apple going to come spend the night again. So yeah, I go over there, I beat his child, play with his child, I play video games with his kid, I dug out a tractor, took him to Supercross, had breakfast with him the next morning, and got invited to the Royal Rumble.
There we go.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Another thing we have coming up this weekend here in LA, Glory on Friday night.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
We have tickets.
Okay, yeah. I totally fucking spaced on that.
So we have tickets to go to Glory, and I imagine there'll be good seats because it's not a big place.
Babe, we're going to Glory on Friday.
Goldie Hawn. We're going to Glory Kickboxing, which should have some pretty good fights. It's at the LA Live.
Oh, okay. I was thinking the forum, but the Bellator's at the forum.
That's right. So then the next night we're going to Bellator.
We got tickets there too? I didn't know we had tickets to that.
Yeah.
I put a half-ass effort into Rich. I was like, yeah, I need some tickets. Oh man, nope, sorry. I was like, thanks.
I'm sure we can get you some.
I'll go. I'm not worried about it.
I actually had a meeting today with a fighter who won't be named.
Yes.
And Scott Coker. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm semi-excited about the fight this weekend, Chael and Tito. It's an interesting fight.
It is.
Neither one is really in their prime. It's an interesting fight, though. Chael is a better wrestler, maybe tougher.
Tito's the bigger man.
Tito's a bigger man, stronger man. He might have better submissions.
Yes, he does, for sure.
Striking, I'm not sure. Tito's striking has always kind of made me giggle, but he's been with Perillo for a while. So Jason might have done some work and made him hit harder.
He's got short arms. Which it just physically does. It just his build isn't meant for boxing. It's a wrestling build. Where Chael does have a better build for it, and maybe he's a little bit looser, but not much. So I think Tito might be the more technical boxer itself. But neither of them are going to win any fucking awards for throwing hands.
Yeah.
This one will end up on the ground, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Because
also Paul Daly's fighting,
which is always exciting because that dude's got fucking dynamite in his hands.
And then also the guy who knocked out Joe Schilling.
Oh yeah, Kato?
The Japanese. Yeah, there's some.
What's his? I can't think of his first name, but we actually, me and Oldie Han did a signing at was it American Icon Autographs with our friend down there who owns it, and he was saying that Kato's doing a signing, I think tomorrow. He had me and Alicia yesterday. Today he had Joe Schilling and who? And Mo, another gorgeous black man that I love.
That's right. Some sexy right there.
And then I think today he has Kato. I think it is. Oh yeah, and he's a fucking sock.
Where's that?
In LA. You want to go?
Yeah.
We can stop by. I want to.
It's a signing
Sock.
where?
It's at one of the hotels around here.
What is the signing for? For Bellator?
No. It's for American Icon Autographs.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
He pays fighters anybody to sign autographs and pays well too. We made fucking great money yesterday.
I think I told you that one of the only people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't ever go to stranger go take a picture with you. Sakuraba is the only. I believe it's the only person I did it with. He was at a UFC in LA back in the day, and I was like, "Yo, when am I gonna fucking see Sakuraba again?" So I got a picture of Sakuraba, and it's a fucking 3x5.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
It was like 8-10 years ago.
I saw him once at a King of the Cage.
King of the Cage.
That's funny because Alicia was there as well, and it was the one time he never fucking went down there. And when I saw him, you know what he was doing? He was fucking gambling. He was sitting at a slot machine, smoking a cigarette, drinking booze.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking legs crossed with a fucking Saku shirt on, and I was like, God damn, you're cool. I was like 15. I was like, the fuck, I love you.
I'm so jealous. Was that when the Diet Butcher fought in King of the Cage? Otsuka?
Yeah.
He cornered Otsuka?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I remember vividly seeing him, dude. I was just like a kid with stars in my eyes. Like, oh my God, it's Sock. And this was like the heyday of Sock. It was,
he built Pride.
Fuck yeah.
What they say is that Rising can never be like Pride until they find their own Sakuraba.
Exactly. They have to have a, they have to have a Japanese star. And obviously the bigger weight, as far as weight goes, the better. But Japs don't build big dudes, so I can see.
Japs don't build big dudes.
I could see them. I could see them having a lighter weight star in Ryzen and hopefully making it work. I fucking love Japanese MMA.
Oh yeah, of course.
If Ryzen took off like a Pride did, I would fucking love to go over
That's
there
the one thing. That's the one thing I regret is I never fought in Japan.
Yeah, and I've never even been to Japan. I'm supposed to go. I think in March to Okinawa for a military signing. Yeah, see, that was the fucking. I remember that night, but that was the same night Boss had the fucking the shirt on. Was that when Dwayne did the karate kick? Yes, Dwayne
no way.
On Shad Smith. That was the night where Dwayne did the crane kick. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where he beat up Shad Smith, the guy who has fucking tap out tattooed across his stomach.
Do you know the Shad Smith story? He was like, he got in trouble for like raping other prisoners and stuff.
Yeah, he's openly gay. He used to live next to my nephew out in.
Is he from Dana Point?
he's from Palm Springs, of course. But no, he used to live next to my nephew Chandler. I think you met Chandler.
Yeah.
He used to live next to him. He's like, oh yeah, hey, uncle. I live next to this fighter named Shad. Him and his husband live next to me. And I was like, oh dude, tell him I said hi. He's an very weird, interesting guy.
That's funny.
But he's one of those guys. There's been very few fighters that have been openly gay, but he was one of them. And everyone knew because he went to prison for raping another man.
That's funny. So
I think at gunpoint too.
We gotta wrap this up here in just a minute. So we're gonna look to have Tate Fletcher here in the next few weeks on the show.
I talked to Tate. He's in Venice. I think he's living in Venice right now. Or he's there a lot. So he's there every week.
And Rolk from M120 wants to come on the show, talk to us.
I was talking to
about
Gene
strength
too.
Conditioning and some food stuff.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have a picture of Gary Goodrich. God bless that man. Nice. So if we could have we're gonna have Tate on next week. He's gonna pencil me in for next week, so we're good.
Okay.
And then that's a good K-Man coffee sponsor. So he'll send you some shit. I don't know if you drink coffee, but or you don't drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee, but they can sponsor the show.
They have some good tea. They
Okay.
have some really
tea,
good tea.
I'm down.
Okay.
All right. So 2 American Animals on
Yes.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe to us, dickheads.
Yes. Otherwise, we're not friends.
Ian's going to tweet it right now.
I am.
And that's it. We're out. Thanks to Tyron Woodley for coming on.
CAS. Thanks, champ.
And if you guys remember, watch Bellator this weekend and Glory. Support the sport. And we will see you next week.
Shoots.
This podcast was a presentation of lightupmedia.fm.